What's up, YouTube? It's your girl DeeDee. Welcome back to another live stream, you guys. Happy Wednesday. I hope y'all are doing well. Thank y'all so much for being here once again. So I am back in the building, y'all. Guess I'm not gonna keep y'all too long today, y'all. But I wanted to make sure that I'm popping up here regularly for you guys. So I hope you are appreciating the live streams. As you come into the building, make sure you guys are hitting the like button. Hit the like button. That definitely helps the channel out, y'all. Also, if you're new in the building and you like the content, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It is free to subscribe. Also, share and like the stream as well. And also watch the videos that are already posted on the channel as well, and share and like those if you can. So what's going on, y'all? I hope everybody is doing well. Thank y'all so much for being here. Shout out to Successful MD in the building. Puerto Rican Princess, what's going on? Who else in the building? Everybody watching. Alex, what's going on? Lorenzo Redmond, what's going on? Ryan Wedlow, UFO Kamikaze One, Fourth Dimension, and everybody else watching, and everybody else in the chat. Thank y'all so much for being here. So you guys see the title: Women were triggered and big mad over this man's preference plus more. So what's going on, Pharaoh? Mild Bill Anderson, what's going on? I hope y'all are doing great. Thank y'all so much for being here. Hit the like button as y'all come into the building. Hit the like button, y'all. So we're gonna jump right into it, y'all. I'm gonna get right into the discussion. I definitely want to get y'all thoughts on this. I have a few clips I want to play for y'all, and then we're gonna wrap this up. So we're gonna jump right into it. The first one is this one is a Kendra G clip, y'all. So but I thought this was interesting because it's a man. I don't usually get the ones where the men, it's mostly women. So I thought this was interesting because this was a man who was, serious about his preference, and he had some pushback from women who actually came onto the show to hate on his preference. So I thought this one was a good one to react to. So we're gonna get into it, you guys. What's going on, Jeffrey Woodland? How are you? George, how you doing, George? Richard the Third. I hope I said your last name right. Thank y'all so much for being here. So let's go ahead and get into it, y'all. Here we go.
Hey,
I sped the clips up a little bit, y'all. So, but you hopefully you can still hear what they're saying. Here we go.
No, I was on Facebook, but you told me my Facebook wasn't updated.
Okay. Well, here you go. I appreciate you trying it out. Your light is not bad, but can you give me better light?
I probably can't. Hold on.
What's your name, boo?
Michael.
Michael, where you calling us from?
I'm from the Gulf Coast. I'm from Chicago, born and raised, but now I stay on the Gulf Coast.
Where's the Gulf Coast?
Gulfport, Mississippi.
Mississippi. Okay, how old are you?
I'll be 40 tomorrow.
You look really young for your age.
I appreciate it.
I did not think 40. I really was gonna say like 20 something.
No, I'm from Chicago.
So Michael's in the Gulf Coast, Mississippi, 40. What do you do for a living?
I'm a locomotive engineer. I've been with the same company now for 16 years.
Locomotive? Local what?
Locomotive. I work for the railroad.
You work for the railroad. Okay, I'll see that. Work for the railroad. You have any kids?
No, no kids.
You never wanted kids?
I did. I was married. My wife, she was killed by a drunk driver a couple of years ago. So, I've been single ever since.
I am so sorry to hear that.
Oh, it's okay. That's life. You know how I go.
How long was you married for?
5 years. Yeah.
Did the person go to jail?
Oh, yeah. They was in Chicago. It happened in Chicago. It was, they went to jail. It was 3 people that died. It happened back in 2017, 16, no, 18. Yeah, so.
I am so sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, this is Michael, Gulf Coast, Mississippi, from Chicago. He has no kids. He works for a railroad company, 40 years old. He just told us he was married and his wife was killed by a drunk driver. Like, let this be a lesson. Please do not drive drunk. We have cars. We have so many ways for you to get somewhere. Please do not drive drunk because you can impact your life with a complete stranger's life. That is sad. I'm so sad. All right, let's try to keep going. Michael, when's your birthday?
Tomorrow, April 1st.
Your birthday is April 1st. Happy birthday.
Yeah, I'll be 40 tomorrow.
We send you good vibes. We send you good vibes, Michael. Nothing but good vibes. So you're going to be 41.
No, I'll be 40 tomorrow.
Oh, you'll be 40 on your birthday, April 1st.
Right.
Okay. So what kind of woman are you looking for, Michael?
Somebody just honest. That's the main thing. Somebody at least have a car, work, no kids. Somebody that's actually a woman, not trying to be a man, not trying to be a boss chick or a thought or be a woman at all times. You represent me. So, when I take you to these governors balls and charity events, I don't want nobody being all ratchet and all that. That ain't. That's too. That's played out.
What do you mean with the boss chick though? What does that mean to you?
You know how these chicks say, I don't need no man. You know how these chicks is. I don't need no man. I'm a queen. I'm a boss. I mean, when a person lead like that, that turns me off.
Well, listen. So basically, what he's saying. So this man, he's been married before. Unfortunately, his wife was, killed in a car accident. But he was married for 5 years. He's looking for a woman who works. He don't have a problem with a woman working. He said a car, no kids, a real woman, not a woman trying to be a man. Not a boss chick who's ratchet and independent, don't need a man. That's what he's saying. So he's looking for a woman who's not this ratchet, combative woman. He don't want this boss chick, the women that we see out here who think that that's a flex and think that men want that. He don't want a woman with kids. So he seems to have a preference and he knows what he wants, and there's nothing wrong with that. Just like women have a preference, there's nothing wrong with a man having a preference whatsoever. It's just that a lot of women don't like certain preferences that men have. That's just what it is. But let's continue.
You're the second guy, and I'm happy because I tried to tell women about this last week, that men were telling me a turn off for them is when women say they don't need a man. And I got so much pushback from women when I tried to share that. And all I'm trying to do, ladies, listen, I really am a sister girl, but I have to be honest. Like, y'all really get irritated when I try to give you what men tell me, they say on the show or DM me. So explain to people listening why when a woman says she doesn't need a man, that turns you off.
Well, first off, I mean, their money is irrelevant because that 9 times out of 10, you ain't gonna make a quarter of what I make. So, that when you try to put yourself above me, you can't. Like, you're not stronger than me, you're not smarter than me, you can't outthink me, you can't even survive on your own. So if you to be a boss and then you boss of what? I mean, you can't be a boss if you just a lash tech or whatever. You ain't got no employees. Now me on the other hand, I'm the boss of my company, but it's not even my company, it's a company that I work for, so there's a difference.
Okay, now, Michael. First, I'm still very sympathetic that you lost your wife, right? So that goes without saying. But yeah. I have to challenge you on a couple things. Are you saying that no woman is smarter than you?
No, I ain't saying that. I'm just saying in general, like, just in general, just the male and female, composition. It's not nothing. Nobody's smarter than nobody. I'm talking about as far as experiences. That's all I'm talking about.
I'm gonna be honest. Like, I can understand what the needing part, but you said also about money. There's a lot of women who are doing good financially. I don't know what you're doing financially, but you definitely can't assume that there isn't a woman making the same amount of money as you.
No, I mean, what I've been running to since I've been single, it's like, I'm like, damn, this the dating pool. You must get pee into something because it's been crazy. Like, I can't find a date. It's like every time I meet somebody, either they ain't got no time or they got too many kids or they don't know how to communicate. I don't like texting. So when you sit up here trying to hold a texting conversation with me, that's automatically just get you deleted and blocked.
Now, let me just say this. Look, women could say the dating pool has pee in it all day, right? Women can say that, these men ain't ish and they can't level up and they're not providers and they're dusties and this and that. But when a man says the exact same thing, it's pushback. Because just keep watching. There's some pushback from women who actually who she brings on the show who has a problem with this man's preferences. So when you say, look, the dating pool has pee in it because he's in it. He's looking for a woman who is a suitable woman who he might be interested in marrying because he's been married before. So he's not looking for these boss chicks with attitudes. He wants a woman who is a feminine woman, I'm sure. He doesn't want a woman, you know what I'm saying, who has kids, and that's what he's running into. So he's saying he's running into a woman who, and I think a lot of times Kendra kind of get it a little mixed up. She's not really, like, sometimes not focused on what the men are saying, or she just don't get it. The man is saying, listen, based on his experiences and what he does and what he's come in contact with when it comes to women, they don't measure up. That's what he's really saying. The women that he's ran into, they don't measure up to his standards. And that's just what it is. And a lot of these women don't measure up to men who actually have high standards or just standards in general, because as long as they're the ones saying that, the men out here don't measure up and these men are this and that, it's okay. Nobody bats an eye. Nobody has anything, no pushback or anything to say when these women talk about their preferences and what they're contacting. And there aren't any good men out here. But when the good men show up, when the men with preferences show up and talk about what they've come encounter with, when it comes to these very same women, you realize these women don't really measure up. Once again, I always say a lot of these women are projecting themselves onto the men. They're projecting their issues, their mentality onto the men. And they hate when men speak out because now it shows them in a real way. You know what I mean? It shows their real mentality, who they are, what the lack thereof of what they actually can bring to the table. It shows that they don't really have what they like to claim they have. They don't really measure up as much as they think they do. You know, and I think that's why you hear a lot of women saying, "Oh, I want these podcasters just to stop talking, get rid of the podcast, do all of this, not, just to go away because you don't want them to talk. You don't want them to expose you." That's what it really is. You don't want the podcasters, the men, to speak out and expose you. You want to continue to make it seem like every woman is the best thing since sliced bread. Every woman is a 10. All these women are so great and they're just this. And it's the men are the ones with the problems when we know that's not the case. See, this is why they hate when anybody says anything that counters what they try to perpetuate, because it's just not the truth. A lot of these women need a lot of help. A lot of them don't measure up when it comes to men who know what they want, and they know it. And they are the ones who, in many cases, who are intimidated and insecure when it comes to men who have their stuff together, because you can't put him down and belittle him. You can't make him feel less than what you are, which a lot of these particular women like to do. We literally heard women say, you need to humble a man. You need to make him feel less than so that you can feel better than him. It's crazy, but this is what they do. But this is the very thing that they complain about when it comes to men. Oh, men will try to humble you. Oh, men will try to put you down and lower your self-esteem when they try to do it to men, because they're the ones who have not worked on their issues or themselves, but they're constantly saying it's the men, it's the men, it's the men. Well, of course, there are men who may have issues, but also women, you are not excluded from that. A lot of women have mental issues, have a lot of issues going on that they have not resolved. And you take that into a relationship and you think that men are supposed to be your therapist, your financier, your everything. Like he has to come in whole to. That's very taxing on a person. That's a lot of work to have to do to somebody who hasn't put in any work. Then your expectations are super high and you just think a man is supposed to be a fixer. He's supposed to be just to come in and change your life and change you and make you better. And you don't really have the tools to give anything to him. You don't have anything to help him. He's not a damn robot. He's a human being too. So that's why I always say it's good to work together, in areas where you might be lacking, he's not. So he can help in the areas where you are better at certain things that you bring to the table. You can help in that area and y'all balance each other, not one person coming in and just doing everything. Got to be your therapist, got to deal with your attitude, got to deal with your trauma, got to deal with everything that you are lacking, but you have nothing to help him. You don't bring anything to support him and help him too. So that's too much. That's too much. In my opinion, that's too much for, anybody to have to deal with. That's just how I see it. Let's continue.
So since I've been down here, it's been, I don't know.
Okay. So let's go. So what are your deal breakers? So you don't want a woman that's too,
just somebody just be a woman. Like I said, I mean, I don't like, I hate wigs, makeup, lashes. That's too much. I like natural stuff. I mean, be a woman, you know what I'm saying? I dealt with a woman with a child, but the baby the girl was young. She was number like maybe a year old. If I can be able to actually help her raise, you know what I'm saying? That's cool. But if I have my preference, no kids.
No kids. We got over 5,000 people on a Thursday, so let's just shout that out for a second. Okay, so ultimately you would like a woman with no kids. You mentioned that a couple times.
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, child. All right. Listen, I was with you on a couple things. Now, I'm totally against a lot of some other things that you said too, but I'm going to respect your preference. I had to challenge you on the smarter and the more money thing because
I'm just saying what I came across. I mentioned nurses, doctors, lawyers. I mean, not saying that they probably do make more money, but like I said, their money is irrelevant. I mean, I don't care what you do, like, because at the end of the day, I can't spend it. You know what I'm saying? I can't go to a college and say, here's, you know what I'm saying? I can't. No.
So, do you want to be? Are you gonna be the provider in your relationship?
Of course. When I was married, I mean, when I was married, when my wife, she was working, she took that money and put it towards herself. She went shopping. She made sure that I like a woman. Like I said, I like to want to be a woman. I like the dresses and heels and And if we need something for the house, you know what I'm saying, miscellaneous stuff, yeah, go and buy that. But everything else, groceries, that's about it. Everything else, I mean, it's my house. I pay for it. I'm going to pay for everything. Like, there's without a doubt. Why wouldn't I?
But you're not paying for the mortgage or any of that?
I mean, I never had a mortgage. I always paid cash for everything I had. So
okay.
Wow, that's what I'm talking about. Listen, I don't see where there would be any pushback to what he's saying. I think, you know, his preference is his preference. He made a lot of sense to me. I didn't see anything wrong with what he was saying. I think, but I still think that when it comes to men, um women always have pushback. Women always have pushback because you want a man who's just gonna like bow down to you, do whatever it is you want him to do. And if he doesn't fit into your narrative or the box that you want him in, then it's a problem. You know, and I just think that a lot of women, this is where a lot of women fail. I think a lot of women need to understand that, you know, I'm gonna try to pull the clip that's not so fast for you guys. Let me see. But I think a lot of women
Yeah.
Have you been?
What's going on?
just want a man to do what they want him to do. You know what I'm saying? You just want somebody who fits all of your boxes, check off your checklist, and that's just that. And you don't really care about anything else. I think that these men, you know, men have to be very cautious about what they say, how they say it when it comes to women. You gotta, if you say one little thing that's off from what these women want, then it's a problem. And I just think that, you know, this is where I think women fail. You want to control men. You want to make them into what you want them to be. And then that's just it. I don't know. I just think that a lot of these women need to really pay attention to what men want, how relationships work, what you should be adding to the relationship, and not just focus on just what the men can provide, but what you can provide as well. Once again, to me, that's the only way it's going to work. It's not just going to be, oh, he do what I want him to do, and that's just it. And he got to fit my profile. He gotta you know, talk like I want him to talk. He got to do the things the way I want him to do. He got to do everything the way you want him to do. And that's not, no man is going to do that. No man is going to bow down to a woman or settle for a woman taking control of him. You can't control anybody. But a lot of these women complain about men being controlling because they know that they're controlling. And I've literally seen it. You know, a lot of women are very controlling when it comes to people in their lives, their friends, their relationships, and, you know, men, all of it. But this is why they don't like control, because they know they do it. And that's the thing. John Henry, thank you so much for the super chat, says issues never really exist until you ask her why she believes she qualifies for the man she wants. Exactly. No lies detected, John. I appreciate you for the super chat. Thank you so much.
I don't know what you're doing financially, but you definitely can't assume that there isn't a woman making the same amount of money as you.
So I just
I mean, what I've been running into since I've been single, it's like, you know, I be like, damn, you know, this the dating pool. It must get pee into something, because it's been crazy. Like, I can't find a date. It's like every time I meet somebody, either they ain't got no time, or they got too many kids, or they don't know how to communicate. I don't like texting. So when you sit up here try to hold a texting conversation with me, that's automatically just get you deleted and blocked. So since I've been down here, it's been, I don't know. It's been
okay. So let's go. So what are your deal breakers? So you don't want a woman that's too.
Just somebody just be a woman. Like I said, I mean, I don't like I hate wigs, makeup, lashes. That's too much. I like natural stuff. I mean, be a woman. You know what I'm saying? I dealt with a woman with a child, but the baby was the little girl was young. You know, she was number like maybe a year old. You know, if I can be able to actually help her raise, you know what I'm saying, that's cool. But if I have my preference, no kids.
No kids. We got over 5,000 people on a Thursday, so let's just shout that out for a second. Okay, so ultimately you would like a woman with no kids. You mentioned that a couple times.
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, child. All right. Listen, I was with you on a couple things. Now I'm totally against a lot of some other things that you said too, but I'm going to respect your preference. I had to challenge you on the smarter and the more money thing, because
I'm just saying what I came across. I mean, I met some nurses, doctors, lawyers. I mean, not saying that they probably do make more money than me, but like I said, their money is irrelevant. I mean, I don't care what you do. Like, because at the end of the day, I can't spend it. You know what I'm saying? I can't go to call out and say, here's, you know what I'm saying? I can't, no.
So do you want to be, are you going to be the provider in your relationship?
Of course, when I was married, I mean, when I was married, when my wife, she was working, she took that money and put it towards herself. You know, she went shopping. She made sure that I like a woman. Like I said, I like the woman to be a woman. You know, I like the dresses and the heels, and you know, and if we need something for the house, you know what I'm saying, miscellaneous stuff, yeah, go and buy that. But everything else, with groceries, that's about it. Everything else, I mean, it's my house. I pay for it. I'm going to pay for everything. Like there's without a doubt. Why wouldn't I?
So she's not paying for the mortgage or any of that?
I mean, I never had a mortgage. I always paid cash for everything I had. So.
Okay. So she's not paying for the bills, basically, in the house?
No, I'm going to do that.
You're going to do that. Okay.
That's my responsibility. I mean, I'm a man. I can't. I don't even know what it would feel like to even have a woman sit up here and try to give me some money for something that I know that we both live in. That's not being manly to me. And I ain't done nothing wrong being 50-50 of that, but me personally, I couldn't do it.
And listen, I respect that. I think there are men who are just that way. They're able to pay, the majority of the bills, like he said, and his wife paid for the miscellaneous things, and she paid, did the groceries and things for the house. That's what women typically do. Usually buy things to fix up the house, decorations, things like that. Usually the women are the ones who do that part. And if you have a man who's able to, pay, he's already, paying the major bills, it's not a big deal for him. And then the women, women usually take care of those types of things and, prettying up the place and doing all of that. And that's very understandable. And so, I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. I think most men take pride in doing that because they have a wife, and, she's, a lot of times those men with those types of wives, usually, and this is not all the case, usually those women are not superficial or not majorly superficial. They're not just trying to spend all the money. You know what I mean? So it's easier to say, oh, hey, here's money for this. Go and do what you want to do. And they appreciate it. Number one, too, they appreciate it. They're not looking for you to just go broke on them. They understand, the relationship, and they don't want to just spend all your money. There is a difference between a relationship where you have a husband who is paying all the bills and a wife who's considerate about you and your work and cares about you, because those women are not going to be gold diggers. Let's just be honest. Those particular women are not gold diggers. They're not just there to get a bag out of you. They actually care about you. They actually know and understand a relationship and don't want to just drain you dry, because she understands that this is for the family. The money that he makes and him going out and working and providing is for the family. It's not just for her to just take advantage of and go out, be outside with her friends and taking trips. It's not a selfish act. That's how you know the difference between a woman who's just out for your money and just trying to drain you dry and don't care about the future, don't care about the family, she don't care about him at all. She just want what he has in his wallet, and that's it. Usually the women who are stay-at-home wives and they don't have to worry about a bill are usually the cooperative, loving wives. Let's just be clear about that. They're not looking for a lifestyle, They understand the purpose of their husband and the relationship and what their roles are, and they respect him and love him, and not trying to, not trying to take advantage, because they care and they understand what it takes for him to get up every morning and go out to work or run his business or whatever it is. She's there to support him, and she's there to be there with him, not just try to take from him. See, the difference is we have a bunch of women out here who are gold diggers, who are just trying to take advantage of a man and drain him dry. She don't care about nothing else. They don't care how you got to get the money. They don't care, what you got to go through to get it. They just want it. It's all about them, and that's it. They don't care about your future. They don't care about nothing you trying to do, build, or any of that. Some of these women are only out here to get to the bag, and they want you to fund it, and that's just it. And so this is why I say, when you run into women who are automatically caring about how much money you make, what kind of car you drive, where you live, all this, those are the gold diggers. Beware of those. Those are red flags. A lot of these women are only trying to use men. They're not really there to legitimately be with you and and grow with you and build with you. No, they're just trying to take advantage. And so that's the difference. There's nothing wrong with a man who wants to provide for his family. But when you're talking about women who are just out here to take their money, nobody wants to just spend money and go broke behind women who are not really even there for you, who could care less about you. Nobody wants to do that. And I think that's the major difference. John Henry, thank you so much for the super chat. Once again, says, spend not your money on a woman with expectations she cannot finance on her own. Exactly. Thank you for the super chat. Because if she can finance it on her own, let her do it. That's what they fought for. You fought for independence. You fought for the right to be able to make your own money. So you got to deal with the consequences. The consequences of making your own money means you got to pay for all your own stuff. You shouldn't be expecting anybody else to pay your way because you worked hard to establish that right and to be able to do it. Now do it. Stop complaining. Thank you once again for the super chat, John Henry. I appreciate you. Yeah, do your thing. Successful MD, what's going on? Says a job title is not a reflection of one's character. Exactly. And another thing I'm gonna kind of tap on in a more in depth in another video is how these women really think that they are the same as men, and how they really think that their money gives them value, the way it does for a man, because they really just look at men and think that applies to them as well, when it doesn't. This is why when this man said it here, you don't care about her money because she's not going to go and she's not going to want to spend money on major bills. She's not going to want to go pay the mortgage. If you got a mortgage, she's not going to want to pay all the bills. She's not going to use her money in that way. So why would a man really care about it when he knows she's not going to want to spend it on anything substantial? So it would be better for him to focus on, just handling those things himself, because he knows he probably can't depend on her to do it, and nor does she want to do it. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for the super chat. Successful MD also says he would have had a better chance at a pawn shop. Child, baby. Child, thank you for the super chat, Successful MD. It's like, so it's a difference between a woman who's just trying to use you and a woman who actually wants to work with you. Because a woman who wants to work with you, just making this clear, she's not going to try to drain you, drive your resources. She's going to work with you. Even if she's a stay-at-home mom, she's just not going to take your money and just spend it all and try to spend it all. No, she's going to be very understanding. She's not going to just come in and just, she's going to take into consideration what you got, what you're doing. She's going to be understanding, grateful that, compassionate towards her man, that this man is going out to work and he's working hard and he's taking care of his family. So, and she's appreciative. There's nothing wrong with being appreciative to a man who's doing, who's taking care of you, and a man that you say you care about and love. I don't understand that a lot of these women don't care about men, because they don't. They only look at a man as a wallet, and that's all he's supposed to be, is just a provider. But then that same man who you're expecting to be this major provider, he turns around and asks, okay, well, how are you going to support this provider man that you want, that everybody say they want? And there's really nothing that they can bring to the table. Even despise that question. What are you bringing to the table? So that means you are not prepared to give him much. You just want to take. You want to take. And that's a selfish mentality, unfortunately, that a lot of women have. And that's why I talk about it, because I think we could do better. Women can do better. You don't have to stay in that independent, selfish way. You can actually do better and learn how to, what you're supposed to be doing in a relationship, just like you know what you want to expect from a man. So you need to learn the things that he should expect from you, or learn what it is that he wants in a relationship or a woman, and learn to be that, so that you can have what it is that you want. Because this selfish mentality is played out. It really is. John says, no man is looking for a bad biatch with no titles, or a boss biatch with no employees or business insurance. Hashtag miss me. Yes, sir. Thank you for the super chat, John. I appreciate you. Yeah. And I think, once again, women have gotten it twisted. They really think that they're like men, that what applies to a man also applies to them, and it doesn't. This is why they get mad when men say, we don't care about your money because you're not using it on us. We can't depend on that. They don't like that because they think that the same things that make women look for in a man is the same things that they should be bringing to the table. So if women look to men to be providers. So men have to go out and make the money and make them put themselves in a position to be, to be a provider for a woman and for a family. So women think that they're supposed to do the same. They think that being a boss chick, making all the money qualifies them for a top tier man. And they're seeing that, no, it's not the same for you. Men don't want another woman that resembles a man. Men don't want the same things that women look for in them. And that's what they're realizing, that it's not the same. But they hate to accept it. John says, women who qualify for a man's care and protection do so by allowing their virtue to be seen rather than their contentiousness. Thank you for the super chat, John. I appreciate that. John also says, value is of no worth unless it's agreed upon. True. Very true. Very true. Thank you for the super chat, John, once again. My 2 cents says, yep, the dating pool for Black men is insane. I can't see all of that. Hold on. The dating pool for Black men is insane. They don't hardly bring anything to the relationship, and they steady focus on selfishly taking, just take, while secretly or blatantly competing and trying to be the man, which is insane to me. My 2 cents. That's crazy. Thank you for the 2 cents, but that's what we're seeing. That's exactly what it is. My 2 cents also says, men are weird to want to carry the brunt of the load. Just give us our respect. Don't compete or crash the whole vision or be selfish because we are operating for the family, not just so we can say, look at me. Exactly. But that's my 2 cents. Thank you for that. That's exactly what women do, because women are women. They're not men. So they operate differently. And this question was asked about when men, when a man, let's just say this, when a man is the provider or looked at to be the provider, which they're always looked at to be the provider, men don't talk about dating down. Men don't require women to make what they make or more. So when women talk about dating down, when they make the money, is the opposite of what men have done. Most men have never looked at a woman, well, for the most part, have not looked at women and said, oh, I don't want to date down. Men don't look at women or look for the same things in women that women look for in men. So, a man making more money than a woman, he don't care how much she makes. If she has the qualities and the attractiveness that he's attracted, has the things that he's attracted to, he's not looking at her saying, oh, I make 6 figures, so she has to make 6 figures. No. And that's never been like that. Men never looked at women to be on the same equal playing field as them financially. They looked at a woman that they were attracted to, and if she had the qualities that he wanted, he's trying to pursue her. It did not matter if she worked at McDonald's. But when you say that to women who've got all these degrees, they take that as an insult. Like, oh my God, you want a bimbo? You want somebody who has nothing going on? It doesn't mean that's insulting to that woman. Just because she works at McDonald's doesn't mean she's a bimbo. Maybe that's the job that she has for right now while she's working on some other things. So I think women equate success and money the same, as the same as, because they know they look at a man, they want a man who's successful and has money, right? So they think that's the same things that will get them a quality man. And they're realizing it doesn't. You have a lot of educated women who will be by themselves to the end, because also with that, it comes a certain level of an attitude or, entitlements. They think that they're better because they have a degree. They think that they're worth more when it comes to average men. So they don't really look at an average man as something special because they feel like they work so hard and they got their degrees, and how dare you try to approach me because I'm top tier. Not understanding that these men don't want a woman like that. They don't care how many degrees you have. If anything, the more educated you become, the less attractive you become to most men, because your attitude precedes you. That is what shows up first. And that's how you lead. You lead with your degrees, you lead with your money. And, you know, it doesn't work that way. And so men are turned off by that, and they didn't realize it, you know, because once again, a lot of us were told when we were younger, go out, get your education, don't worry about a man. You'll get to that part, you know, get your degree, take care of yourself. You don't need a man, but when you're ready to settle down, he's going to be waiting there. You'll have the pick of the litter. Just pick you one girl and get married and live happily ever after. And that's not happening. They're saying, and they're shocked by it. John, thank you so much for the super chat. Says women can choose to be cold, broke, and lonely, but they can also be cold, broke, and lonely based on how they choose to behave. Holla if I'm wrong, child. Well, I mean, that seems to be, they don't look. They thought they were given the wrong information. A lot of women were told lies. They were given the wrong information and they ran with it. You know, they thought that this feminist mindset was gonna, you know, make them so great. And then, you know, by them being so great, they were just gonna, like I said, have the pick of the litter, that they're just gonna have men falling at their feet and begging to be with them because they're so smart and so educated and so put together, and they have everything that they worked hard for. You got a house, you got a car, you got your kid, you got, you know, you got all of these things. You got a good job, you got a career, you got a business. You're so busy, you're thriving, you know, and you're doing great. They thought that men would look at that and be like, "Oh, I want her," and that all these men are going to be running up behind them, and they're not, and it's not happening. They didn't consider or think of the fact that, hold on, at this point, once I've gotten my degree and worked hard and done all this stuff, you know, that I'm older, half of them already have a kid or two or more, but they didn't realize that men were not going to be checking for 35, 40-year-old women with kids already and who's established and accomplished financially. That's not what men want. Men want more of a traditional woman, and the very things that men want, women don't want to give it. So you're in a pickle. They don't want to do what men are asking. It's just what it is. They think men should do away with their preferences and what they want to cater to them. They think men should just not have that preference. They think men should do away with not wanting to date single mothers, because that's a lot of them. So that disqualifies a lot of them. So they think that y'all as men should settle and you should do away with your preferences and just go with them because they're the catch. And that's not happening. That's not happening. Thank you once again for the super chat, John. That is just not happening. And they don't know what to do with that. Blue Exodus, thank you so much for the super chat. Says that would be like men bragging about switching their hips and being nurturing as qualities to attract women. Well, listen, great point, because that's true. You know, it's just what it is. And, you know, it wouldn't work. See, when men, like they always like to call, thank you once again for the super chat, Blue Exodus. Once again, they like to call men sassy just by having an opinion, child. If it different men who have preferences, oh, he's probably sassy and controlling anyway, I don't want him anyway. There's always an excuse for men who have standards, but there's never an excuse for women who have standards or even unrealistic ones. You know, they can have all the dreams and ambitions, standards, manifest whatever they want. It's okay for them to think and have what they want, but when a man speaks on his preference, it's got to be negated, or it's got to be looked at as if, you know, he doing too much, and that's got to stop. And I think, you know, for men out here, which I think men realize what's going on, and it shouldn't be a discouragement from, you know, for you having a preference. I don't think men should be discouraged or belittled or any of that for having their preference, just like everybody else can have a preference. Women and everybody else, they, you know, if they just because, you know, they say they're not going to settle, then you don't have to settle. You don't have to settle for combativeness. You don't have to settle for entitlements. You don't have to settle for independent mindsets. You don't have to settle for, you know, women that you know, that you just don't want to, single mothers. You don't have to settle for that. But see, it's detrimental to them because they forgot somewhere along the line that men are the one who pick who they want to be in a relationship with. Men are the ones who pick that. Women have forgotten that is out of your control, boo. That is not something that you pick. I don't care who you are attracted to. I don't care what kind of man you want. In order for you to get that man, he has to want you. And I think they've forgotten that. They've become so much into this boss chick independent stuff. You forgot that you don't control what men want. They control that. The very thing that you control, you don't do well with that. You don't do well with controlling the access to your body. You give it to whoever and complain and get babies with these people, and you're still by yourself. So a lot of women don't do well with the control that they do have, and the things that are out of their control, they're trying to control and manipulate, and it's not working, because men are the ones who have to decide if they want to marry you, want to be with you, or whatever. And if they're not doing that, then that's going to yield you single by yourself. Thank you once again, Blue Exodus, for the super chat. John says, if she feels her worth is based on bringing the same amount of bread as she does, there will be issues if his funds get short. Right. And I say that all the time. You know, it's like, come on now. But if she makes the money, see, this is the one-sidedness. But if she makes money and she's no longer able to make that money, then no problem. See, because men aren't the ones who are really worried about the money that she makes. They're really worried about your money. So she can make money, and if she falls short of the money, she still wants you to pick up the pieces and still allow her to continue her lifestyle. This is why they want a man who makes way more, what they make or more. So if they somehow, stop making it, they want you to continue that lifestyle. They want you to continue to give them that superficial lifestyle that they want to please their girlfriends and anybody else. They want you to pick that up. And if you don't want to do that, then that is going to be a problem. So that's why I say it never leave with your wallet, because that'll tell you right there what type of woman you're dealing with. When you don't want to spend a whole lot of money on her. Now, I do think this let me say this, and then we're going to get back to the video. Thank you once again for the super chat, John. I appreciate you. When you take a woman out on a date, there's nothing wrong with paying the bill. If you offer somebody out, then I would expect you to pay for the date. There's nothing wrong with that. But if a woman is very particular or picky about where you want to take her, and she's just got an attitude because you don't want to take her to this particular, then leave her alone, because she's giving you one major red flag right there. That's gonna move on. She's not into you. She's only she's into a lifestyle. She's into something that looks a certain way. And when you're in a relationship, a real relationship, you could care less about what it looks like to the public, because you're not living for the public. You're living for the two of you and the family that you create. You can't worry about superficial things and what people think about your relationship, because they have nothing to do with it. You see what I'm saying? So, red flag. There's nothing wrong with taking somebody out to a nice place, but you pick where you're going. And if she's got a problem with that, okay, just take her back home, because you already know what that's about. That's just how I see it. Adwan, I hope I'm saying that right. Just giving a shout out, DeeDee. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for the super chat and for being here. Thank you. I hope I said your name right. I hope I didn't butcher it. Let's get back into the video, y'all.
Okay. I know you lost your wife to a tragic accident. How long was you married for?
5 years.
Okay. So Marcus, does the woman have to look a certain way?
Michael.
I mean, I keep saying Marcus. I apologize. Michael. That's my fault. Michael.
Be fit. I like somebody that's fit. I don't like plus size. Man, you got to wear it well, but just plus size, pretty much.
Okay. You saying no plus size?
No.
Okay. And you said you don't care about her money, right?
No, just as long as you have a car, man. As long as you have a car, I don't care if you work at Chick-fil-A. Just as long as you got a car, you take care of yourself. Like, that's about it. I don't care about the money part.
Do you want kids?
Of course I do.
Okay, he does want kids.
Yeah.
Are you willing? Is no kids a strong deal breaker for you?
Say it again.
A woman with kids, is that a strong deal breaker for you?
Like I said, the child has to be small. I mean, like, if we're going to do it for the long haul, the child got to be like a 2 years old. I want to be able to help raise them too. I don't want to come into something that is already built. You feel what I'm saying?
Okay.
I want to be able to actually build. You know what I'm saying? That's me.
Now, listen, this is something that a lot of these women wouldn't understand. This man is saying if there was a child, he wants the child to be younger so that he can actually raise the child, so that he can build with the child. He doesn't want something already ready made, but if he's open, if the child is young, makes sense to me because he wants to take on that child probably as his own, raise it, and where they can be a cohesive family. Most men won't entertain women who have kids already, but if you're gonna do it, that might, and a lot of men, honestly, which I know this is, probably, a tricky situation, but a lot of men feel like, and y'all let me know what y'all think of this in the chat. A lot of men feel like if they're going to come in and take on a child and raise that child and create a bond and build with that kid and that family, a lot of times they don't want the daddies. If she's saying the father is not in the picture, a lot of times those men don't want the fathers in the picture. Some men don't want the father to come around when he is assuming responsibility for that child. Some men be like, okay, well, if he's not in the picture, if when he comes into the picture, he doesn't want that father nowhere around. Because if he hasn't been around, some men don't want the man around because he's like, I'm going to take on this child. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it all the way. Some men think like that. So, they're like, listen, especially if you come into a situation, she's telling you the father is a deadbeat, he's nowhere around. That man is not going to want him popping up and coming in and trying to take over or try to have some say so when he's been there taking care of that child. Some men are like that. Some men are like, you know what, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it all the way. And, oh boy, he got to stay out the way because I'm going to be the child's father now, But you got to be careful with that because some of the women don't agree with that. Some of these women, the man could not have been in the child's life for years, but if he pops up, she's like, well, that's his father. He needs to go see him. In spite of the man coming in and taking on that responsibility and raising that kid as his and doing everything for that kid and loving him, and she still sometimes will allow the one she called a deadbeat who was not for the child, she will still allow him to come in and just do whatever he want. And I think that's why a lot of men don't want to do that because there's no guarantees. You just don't know. You know what I'm saying? So it's a tricky situation in my opinion. So I think a lot of men don't even want to entertain it. They don't even want to even have to go through that because you give your all into this child and get to loving the child and doing things, treat them as your own. Some men put these children through college and everything. And then the biological dads could just come back, pop out from wherever they came from and assume I'm take the position when the hard part is over. You want to come back when a child is grown in college that the stepdad paid for, and now you want to come back into his life, and a lot of these kids are open to it because they want a relationship with their biological father, so they give them the opportunity, and that's a kick in the face to the man who was there for that child the whole time. That's a kick in the face to him, in my opinion, for doing all of that. And then the deadbeat could just pop up at any time and assume his position. That's crazy to me without having to put in the hard work. That's why I think a lot of men don't want to do that. That's just what I'm saying. It's a lot. Let's continue.
Okay, shouts to Regina, who we host the show together, host a society. She said, do you have a car since you're requiring the woman to have a car?
Oh yeah, I got 2.
You got 2 cars, Regina. Okay.
And they all foreigns.
And they're all foreigns. Okay, talk your talk, Michael. Does the woman have to be in Mississippi?
No, New Orleans, Mobile, Atlanta. I mean, I travel I'm on the coast, so everything. I'm by everything. I'm close to Houston. I'm close to Atlanta, Memphis, Alabama, Florida. I mean, I'm actually about to leave out tonight and catch a flight. I'm thinking about going to I'm not thinking about, but I'm going to Puerto Rico for my birthday. So
that's right, because your birthday is April 1st. Michael, I'm not sure if I asked you this question. When was your last relationship?
That's my wife. I've been trying. It ain't been looking right. It ain't been looking good for me.
Okay, you don't gotta answer this question, but when was the last time you was intimate with a woman?
What this month? 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago. Why can't you be in a relationship with that woman?
She had too many kids. She's pretty, but I just can't do too many kids.
How many kids does she have?
3.
So that was a deal breaker for you.
Yeah. Then they was by different dads. Like, then you weren't even married. I'm like, that count. People don't think that count, but that counts.
Okay. So she had too many kids, too many baby daddies, and she was never a wife.
Right. She had no time. Always, I'm too busy. I gotta wait till my kids go to sleep. I don't want to come to your house. That's my thing. I don't want to be around your kids. If we're not together, I don't want to be around your kids. That's the thing. I can't do that.
Okay. I think that's fair. If you're like not in a serious relationship, you don't want to be around the children. I can understand that. Michael, you want to be in a relationship. You want to get married again. What is the challenging, what are the things that you're meeting that are just turning you off, that you decided that you.
I mean, Kendra, I think he answered that. Didn't he answer that? Am I tripping, y'all? He answered it. He basically said it. I don't know. Did she miss it? He basically said what the challenges are while dating. John Henry, thank you for the super chat. Says, don't be the stepdad who raises the daughter, but then is asked if deadbeat can give her away, child. Exactly. That is and I heard a real life story on that. That's insane. That's disrespectful, in my opinion. Thank you for the super chat, John. Successful MD says that woman still leading with her box, child. Thank you for the super chat, Successful MD. Kendra, I mean, the man basically said it. Like, let's see.
You can't marry yet.
To think with far as women?
Yes.
Not communicate. I don't like texting. I mean, I'm an 80s baby. I grew up with the phone cord all around the house, so I don't want to text. You know what I'm saying? Liars. I done had somebody lie to me for so long. I mean, I don't know why. And it'd be over dumb stuff like a couple dollars, money. That little couple of dollars ain't gonna make or break me. Or it'd be over something petty. I ask somebody on a date. We supposed to hang out. Time comes, I don't hear from you. I'm like, damn, why would you make plans with me? Don't want to keep your words. So I don't know.
Okay. Michael, why would a woman be lucky to be with you?
I'm a man. I mean, I'm the whole definition of one. I mean, I was raised right. My granddaddy raised me. Actually, my parents, everybody raised me. But I didn't let the streets get to me. I mean, I could have, the South Side of Chicago, rough, But yeah, I mean, I just feel like that. I feel like I deserve to be happy, So I just hope.
Deserve to be happy. Just curious, what is your definition of a man?
Somebody that's a provider, somebody's a leader, somebody's an inspirer, somebody that's a protector, somebody that gives knowledge. It gives and receives knowledge, actually. A mentor, a father. I mean, I can go on and on, but that was the thing where I would like, father thing. That's the only thing I haven't done in life is be a father. So everything.
And you want to be a dad. That's important to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. All right, let's do it, Michael. Happy birthday, first and foremost. I don't necessarily agree with a lot of things that you said, but I think you have the right to desire what you want. I have a heart for you since you lost your wife. That broke my heart to hear. So I do.
Now, I have to say this again. I think this is an older video. I think this is when Kendra, before she, she realized the sisterhood was full of ish, before she realized the BS of a lot of these women, because she was giving him a lot of pushback. There was nothing. I don't see. I understand you don't have to agree with what everybody's saying and all that. People can agree to disagree or whatever. But I didn't see anything that was disagreeable in my mind. I didn't see anything he said that would have allowed me to give him pushback. I don't see anything that he said that was, he didn't contradict himself. He said he was very clear on what it is that he's looking for, what it is that he, didn't like. I didn't see any pushback or I didn't see any red flags or anything that would make me look at him and be like, oh, something's wrong with him. No, I don't think he said anything wrong. And I think, this is sometimes women look for negativity in what a man is saying, but all the red flags and negativity that a lot of these women come on these shows and present right in front of you, they look around it. You can look around what they're saying because it's a sisterhood and everybody's supposed to sit back and just let them talk and say whatever it is they want and don't push back whatsoever. But when it comes to a man, he's under major scrutiny. He has to be scrutinized down to the letter. Everything he says is under a microscope. He has to be perfect and word everything perfectly. Oh my God, they're ready to jump and pounce and say, oh, see, that's a red flag. But women could say all kind of ratchet stuff and there's no pushback. There's no scrutiny. There's no nothing. You just take it and joke with them and laugh with them and they can say anything they want. And I think that's a major problem. Women are not used to men having opinions, having preferences or anything. Y'all, they just like that lady said, she said, she missed the days when men would just shut up and just what she say, shut up and just I think she said shut up and just pay for everything. Just pay for stuff and shut up. No voice, no nothing. Just shut up. Let a woman do whatever she wants, and that's how it's supposed to be. That's some BS if I've ever heard it. And I think that's how a lot of women are operating. Once again, for the people way in the back, it's not every woman is like this, but every man is not, a deadbeat. Every man is not a deadbeat and the kind of guys that these women are used to dealing with. So you got to understand that when you put the narrative out there that this is the representation of all men and all men are just horrible, and that's the insult to the good men out here who are husbands, who are hard workers, who are out here thriving, taking care of themselves, taking care of their kids, taking care of their wives, or if they got a woman, if they're in a relationship, the good men out here who are doing what they need to do. So we can't put everybody in the same boat. Just specify the men that you've dated, the men that you've experienced, and that's that. And this is why I think for women who have not experienced these types of guys, it's important for you to speak out and say, hey, I don't know a whole bunch of deadbeats. I don't know these kind of men. I know productive men who are out here working, taking care of business, doing what they need to do. They're not, you got to let them know that this is not the representation of all black men. That ain't all black men, just the ones you've come across. Because every black woman hasn't been in a deadbeat in a deadbeat relationship with a deadbeat. I mean, if you see a deadbeat, you should recognize them, right? You have sense enough to see somebody and see where they come at and see what they're after or whatever and dodge that and go the other way as opposed to you are being oblivious, which women are supposed to be so smart and know everything and have all this intuition, but you never really see the deadbeat coming until after the fact. So that says a lot of how a lot of these women need to learn better and do better because so far they've been dropping the ball and there's no consequences for them dropping the ball, but all the consequences for men if men mess up just even a tad bit. Ronald Williams, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you, sir. John Henry, once again, thank you for the super chat, says sleeping with a woman who doesn't fit your preference indicates that she will allow sex when she wants, but doesn't mean she'll achieve marriage when she desires. Oh, facts. Facts all the time. That's what they're running into. And that is straight facts, And I just don't, it's just what it is, And a lot of these women, they're realizing it. They're realizing it, that it's not going quite the way they thought. But at the same time, there's no accountability for the actions associated with it. You know what I mean? I saw a clip of, I forgot who it was, where a guy was saying how you can make your choices. And I've said this before too. You can make the choices that you want to make, but be prepared for the consequences that comes with it. And for somehow that's a lost art. People don't realize when you make a certain choice in life, there are certain consequences that come with those choices, but you should be willing to accept them because you made the choice. And this is where accountability comes in, because a lot of people do what they want to do, but think that there aren't certain consequences associated with it. And then when it occurs, they're looking around bitter and crying and wondering why. But you didn't think about the choice that you made led you there. You didn't think that if you go out and just sleep around and have unprotected sex with whoever, that the consequences, maybe you're going to end up with something or you're going to have a baby. And did you ever think that the person that you doing this with, you're not committed to them, y'all not in a relationship, y'all not married, that this person may not want a kid and they may not be marriage, want to marry you and take you seriously, that they might, you might end up with this child, raising it by yourself, taking care of it by yourself. You got to understand the choices you make have consequences, whether you like it or not. Just because you like the choice you made at the time don't mean that you're going to like the consequences. But those consequences are still going to hit. And you're going to have to deal with it. You can't think that you could be reckless and you're not going to suffer the consequences of your reckless behavior. Just like when you make better choices in life, when you make choices that yield you good benefits or good consequences, everybody loves that. You accept that. Oh, I did this, and it yielded me success. You accept that. But if you can accept that, you got to accept that when you make poor choices, you got to accept those poor consequences as well. It's a part of it. You can't escape it. Thank you once again for the super chat, John. I appreciate you. So that's just what it is. But everybody want to ignore the consequences associated with their poor choices. You don't want that. Successful MD says, I'm offering steaks from $1.25. Get to know me. I'm child. Successful MD. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. So, that's all I'm saying. Listen, you gotta understand that you are not special. You're not special. You're not special when it comes to dating and special in a way that eliminates you from your choices. You're not special. This everybody has to deal with this. Nobody is exempt. We all got to deal with the choices that we make in life, some good, some bad. But you got to accept the good with the bad because you made the choices. Now, if your choices were taken away from you, if somebody took something from you, that's different. Because that wasn't you making that. But when you make a choice, when you say, oh, I wasn't looking for a relationship. Oh, I was just trying to get to the D. As I've heard women say, well, you better be prepared of just trying to what getting to the D looks like after you've gotten the D. You got to take into consideration the consequences associated with you just trying to get to the D. Because you didn't say you was trying to get married. You didn't say you needed a relationship. You didn't say you required certain things. You just was trying to get to the D. So what trying to get to the D means, you're going to get to the D at it because that's what you want. Because women feel empowered to want something like that. And it's okay because we make our own choices. Well, you got to deal with the consequences associated with that. And for the lady who actually said that, she had to deal with the consequences. She ended up with a baby. And the guy didn't want to have nothing to do with her or the baby. So that was the consequences of getting to the D. Because you didn't say commitment, nothing else. That would yield you maybe a different result. You didn't inquire marriage before you went and got the D. So what do you expect? John says, as a man, I just can't take, i.e. your virtue, what you have to offer. I can only convince you why you should give it to me. It's always her choice. Exactly. Thank you for the super chat. But a lot of women complain about, oh, well, these men. No, baby, it's up to you. No matter how pissed you are about it, you make that decision. And if you're not strong enough to say, you know what, I'm not going to do, or you don't have any values or morals that would allow you to say no, or you don't have your priorities straight, then you fall for anything. And this is what women do, but there's they don't want to suffer the consequences. They don't want to accept the fact that they chose wrong, and you got the consequence associated with that. And instead, oh, it's his fault. It's his fault that you chose, that he asked you for sex, but you agreed to it. Make it make sense. It's his fault that you decide to open your legs. Somebody could tell you to jump off a bridge. It's up to you to do it. You ain't got to do what people ask you or what people tell you to do. That's where your strength and that's when you having certain goals and certain morals and values about yourself that would allow you to say, nah, I don't do that, and keep it moving. That way you avoid that type of thing. Thank you once again, John, for the super chat. It's crazy. DeeDee, you're sounding like a preacher. I hope I'm not. But thank you for the super chat. It's stupid though when you think about it. It's dumb. Like you just I don't know why people are avoiding being accountable. It's supposed to, you learn from your mistakes. That's the key. It's not that you can't make mistakes. It's the fact that you're supposed to learn from your mistakes. Learn so that you can do better. That's it. And stop blaming it on everybody else. That's it. You teach that to your children when they're little. You teach them accountability, consequences. If they do something wrong, there's supposed to be a consequence. You teach them that because in life, that's what it is. If you go out and commit a crime, the consequences are you gonna go to jail, right? So you teach that at a young age. Let's continue this video.
I hope that love can come your way again.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Give them your Instagram name.
I just made this page. I think it's Mike, MIKE .versus.Michael.
Okay. So it's Mike.verse.Michael. So MIKE.BS.Michael. What is your Facebook page too?
Michael Leonard.
Spell your last name.
LENARD.
LENARD. Michael Leonard?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find it real quick. Is there more than one Michael Leonard on Facebook?
Yeah, I heard it's a bunch of us on there.
What's your page?
It's gonna say I'm from Chicago, so
it's gonna say you're from Chicago.
Yeah.
Let's see.
LENARD.
Okay, LAND.
No. LENARD.
Your page, so I could try to tag that because you're definitely gonna be a highlight since it's your birthday. So I want to make sure I tag your Facebook. So if you can't DM me here, your Facebook page.
Okay, that's cool.
All right, again, this is what's the age range? We didn't go over that. What's the age range you want to take?
Ooh, I like young women. 20 to 30.
20, Michael.
I look young, so I want somebody. I don't want nobody over 30. Most of them, they too scarred. I done tried that too many times. I done tried 30, at 35, 40, 45. They too scarred emotionally. I ain't got time for that. I got things to do. I'm retired in a couple years. I don't need nobody that's all beat up with cigarette burns and gunshot wounds. No.
Michael!
I'm
all
damn.
women in their 30s don't have no cigarette burns and gunshot.
Let me tell you something. 95% of them that I done ran across, sweetheart, I promise to God, I never came across nobody that was over 35 that was actually mentally sane. Like there's always something about well, my past did that. I was like, man, look, I ain't got nothing to do with your past.
Right, but they want the men to come to the relationship whole. Child, y'all done been through war zones and all of this, messing with Pookas and Ray Rays out here in the street trying to hold him down and getting grazed by guns and bullets and all kinds of stuff. So I get what he's saying. Like these women have been through the fire and back, and now, but then this is why, once again, the projection is real. You've been through the war zone, and now you want him to come to the relationship whole because you know you're not. So I want him to come whole because you know you got a lot of baggage and a lot of trauma and a lot of war stories, and you want him to come to the relationship whole because both of y'all can't be traumatized to that magnitude. That's why. So listen, that's his experience. You can't take away from somebody else's experience. Hell, I've seen some women who got bullet holes and scars and all kinds of stuff. They be fighting out in the streets. They be, they be doing a lot. So, there be some rough ones out there. Every woman is not like that, but there are a lot of rough ones out there over 35 for sure. So I don't think he lying about that. My 2 cents says women and choices have always amazed me. These types of women think they can redo life and reset like Nintendo. For sure. Exactly, my 2 cents. That is absolutely correct. Thank you once again for the super chat. That's so true. John Henry says, men don't run around getting women pregnant. Women choose to have unprotected sex. This doesn't make her responsible. It just means she's also just as culpable as him in failure. I say it all the time. I say it all the time. John Henry, I say it all the time. You know, when I did the panels and let people come up, we talked about this all the time. It's like, look, who's responsible? I think both parties are responsible, but for some reason, the women want to take the responsibility off of them and just put it on the man. When you consented to this, you agreed upon this, you didn't have a problem with it, you didn't say no, so you're just as responsible as the men. But somehow they want to put all the responsibility on the man. Oh, these men shouldn't be out here sleeping around. Maybe they shouldn't. Maybe you shouldn't be out here spreading your seed all over, just making babies. But you can't make all the babies and spread your seed if the lady's legs are closed and they tell you no. You can't do nothing if they don't agree. And if you try to do it, then that's against the law. Then it's going to be consequences. You will be in jail easily. So as long as the women are consenting, then you're just as equally responsible. It's not all on the men. To me, I put more of the responsibility on the women because it's your body. You're responsible for your body. A man can't do anything to your body unless you let him. He could say, oh, yeah, you fine all day. Oh, yeah, I want to get with you. And you like, hell no, get the hell out of my face. I'm not giving you nothing. It's your body, your choice. But they only want to acknowledge that when they want to do what they want to do when it comes to a baby. But before you even get to that point, it's still your body, your choice. Ain't nobody telling you to open your legs to a bunch of Tom, Dicks, and Harrys and then get mad when these men take advantage of that. You allow access. You allow them to do it. If you don't, they can't do it. Simple as that. Thank you once again for the super chat, John. It's crazy to me. But that's how I see it. Everybody don't see it the same, but that's how it is. Catch me for a panel when you can. Thank you, John. I appreciate you. Yeah, definitely will. It's just, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me. It really don't. Your body, your choice. And that's exactly what it is. Your body, your choice. So if you choose to go out here and have sex with different dudes and pop up pregnant and you didn't require anything from these guys, you want to get to the D, as these ladies would say, child, you're responsible for that. It's just crazy to me. It really is. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button. Hit the like button, you guys. Give me 1 second, y'all. I gotta take a pee. I can't hold it no more. Give me a 1 minute. Give me a little break. 1 minute, you guys, and I'm gonna be right back. Don't go anywhere. Hit the like button. Hit the like button, y'all. All right. All right, y'all. I'm back. Thank y'all so much. I had to use the bathroom, baby. I cannot hold it. Thank y'all so much I'm back for the quick break, y'all. Let's see here. Where did I leave off at? Um, let's see. My two cents says, I hope I'm catching up on the right super chats. I get it. No one is perfect, but one has to understand that some choices in life is permanent. A child is permanent. Deleting someone is permanent. Cutting off private parts, etc. Exactly. And I think a lot of times the choices that are detrimental, the choices that have the most effect on your life is the ones that people don't put much thought into. Thank you once again for the super chat, my two cents. It's the choices that you mentioned are the ones that people take lightly. You know, it's like you don't. These should be major. These should be choices that you put major thought into, that you really take seriously, that you don't just go out and willy nilly, just do. But this is people think, oh, just go out and just have sex, have fun, get pregnant, don't use or whatever. Like this doesn't have detrimental consequences. It's like I mean, I can see of you making a choice over some food or something that is not going to make a major impact in your life. That's different. You choose some a different type of food and it's nasty. All right, that's not a detrimental impact on your life. They're making real major decisions like it's so simple, and then complain about the consequences, and as if they didn't realize that, hey, if you go out here and make a baby with a random person, you may be raising that child by yourself. That child is not going to have a stable home. They may have issues based on that. You're going to have a hard time financially, possibly. It's a lot of things that go into that, but people make these choices as if they're not major decisions, that like these are just like it's nothing, and that's scary. It's scary, and then when you say, okay, this is a problem, maybe y'all need to put more thought into this, prioritize things and focus on what's, that's going to give you a better outcome. Oh, people get mad, and I don't understand it at all. I don't understand, why would you push back on something like that when it can affect you so drastically? You know what I'm saying? Let's continue, y'all.
I'm not even what you're used to. I don't even know why you even bringing somebody in that whole conversation, but always something. And the crazy part about it, I thought me moving to the South would be it'd be a big plethora of women. Man, most of them got kids. And
okay, so you want to go 20 years younger than your age. You're 40. Yeah, you want to date?
I like younger women. I like women that's, I like somebody that I know, because I got a lot of knowledge. I'm a smart man. I can put you up on stocks. I can put you up on, CDs and things like that. That's just me. I mean, I can teach you things that I know that I wasn't taught, but I had to learn through life, so.
Just curious, how old was your wife? Were you guys close in age, or was she younger?
No, she was 12 years younger than me. She would have been 28 this year.
Okay.
When I met her, she was 22, 23. Yeah.
You were 38 probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, I can't do 20 because you gotta be 21.
Oh, 21. I meant to say 21, not 20. Yeah, 21. You got correct.
So you want a woman 21 to 30, nobody over 30.
No.
What if she's over 30? Okay, what if she's over 30 with no kids?
It's a question mark.
It's a question mark.
Yeah, I got about 6 or 7 people just hit me up the whole time since I've been here.
Oh no, you're gonna get people that's gonna hit you up. They're probably gonna cuss you out.
All right, I'm with the smoke. I'm a nice guy.
Oh my goodness. Well, I just want to say there are women over 30 who don't have children.
Yeah, but like I said, they would lead with their careers, and I don't like that. It's always about my money and get my bag. Who wants to come on now? I don't want nobody about their money. You should be about me. If you come into a relationship talking about, well, I don't have time and all this, like, why are you even talking to me then?
So you want a woman that's more about you than her career?
That's what it's supposed to be about. It's supposed to be about the man. You're supposed to be able to make me happy, and I do the same. You want me to do all this and this, so why can't you make me happy? You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel what you're saying. It make a lot of sense to me, but these career driven women don't see it that way. This is why a lot of them are single because you are more, and it's nothing, listen, and I say this all the time, there's nothing wrong with that being your choice. If you want to get your career and that's your life, there's nothing wrong with that. But you may forego a serious relationship. You may forego getting married. You may miss out on that because most men don't want career driven women. So that's the consequence of your focus being totally on your career and building yourself up that way. There's nothing wrong with it if that's your choice, but you got to understand that because of that choice, you may not have kids, you may not have a husband. Those are the things you might lack because you don't have time for it. Like you said, they don't have, a lot of women, a lot of these career driven women don't have time for a man. They want to fit him in whenever they can. And that's not going to work for a man who's actually looking for a wife, somebody that he can really build with and really have, in his corner. So I think I think a lot of women just get offended by everything and think it's a bad thing. No, it's not I wouldn't consider it bad or good. It just depends on what it is that you want in life. And my thing is this, I say, listen, my take on it is you can have everything that you want, just not at the same time. To me, it depends on what you prioritize first. And if you want a family and a husband, that's what you need to prioritize early on. Because that's what you'll get. That's where your focus is at. If you want to go to school, you can always go to school later on. You can start a business later on. I always tell people this and this is just based off my experience. Listen, you can still do things. I don't know why people think that, when you have kids, your life is over. No, those kids grow up. Your kids get older. They have their own lives. They start doing their own things. You're still alive. As long as you're still alive, you can still have dreams or aspirations of doing other things. Your children they're not going to be, they're not going to need you as much as they did when they were little. When you raise your kids and they're able to start, going to school or going to getting jobs and, doing the things that they want to do, then they're not dependent upon you as much anymore because they're creating their own lives. And when you start young, and it's just my experience raising a family, you still can do other things. I'm a living witness of that. A straight example of that. You're not dead and gone. You're still alive. You can still do things and still have your family, prioritize your family, raise your family. You're there for your children. When your kids get older, they start branching off and doing their own things. They start, figuring out what they want to do in life and living their lives. And that's the time where you can have to get a hobby or do things that you want to do, because you've already put your family first. You've already done that. That's the benefits of having children early on, where you're there with them and you're raising them and you're watching them grow and you're taking care of them. And then when they get out the way, you have time to do some things that you want to do. That's I'm the living example of that. But people tend to make it seem like, oh, I want to do what I want to do in my 20s. I want to do whatever I want to do. And then when I get to my I have my career and when I get to my 30s, 40s, you done miss that part. Just like now, a man is looking for a younger woman to have a family with and raise the family with. These women just think, oh, when you're young and you have children, you're in a dungeon. You can't do anything. You're just down and out and miserable and tucked off. And, no, if you want a family, you have to commit to your family. You have to commit to raising your children and your family and enjoy that time because it goes by so quickly. You know what I'm saying? It really does. Those children do not stay little for long. I mean, you to the point where you look around and you miss when they were little because they grow up so fast. But during that time, that's when you can start focusing on things you want to do. Like I said, I don't understand. People got it twisted. They got it wrong. They really do. They really have it wrong. You can have the things you want in life, just not all at the same time. You got to figure out what your focus is. And to me, the focus is just my opinion. This is my opinion. You don't have to agree. My opinion is if you want a family and a husband, prioritize it when you're young. Bottom line. Don't think that this going out, riding the CCs, having this 304 phase is where it's at, because that's going to have a detrimental impact on you having that family. prioritize your family young. You know, find you a man who wants to be with you and want the same things you want. Y'all get married, have your family, raise your kids. When those kids grow up, you'll be able to do other things. Excuse me, y'all. Excuse me, Lord. But yeah, and then you know, you can prioritize other things that you want to do in your life. Still, you don't have to just, that's not the end of your life. You don't, your life is not over when you have a husband and raising your kids. That's just, it's not over. You can still do things that you want to do. And I don't know why people get it twisted. You know, your life is different when your kids are older. It's not the same as when they were all babies. When they're babies, they require all of your attention. You got to be there. You got to focus on them and your husband. As your kids get older, the focus is not on they're grown now. So the focus is not just on them. Now you have time to focus on things that you wanted to do and do it. I mean, women like to think, in my 30s and 40s, I'm so much better and I'm grown and all that. Well, if you've grown, then you're so much better at that age. Why don't you see that it will be important for you to build your family and all that when you're young? And by the time you get to that better place, now you're established. You can use that to your advantage. I don't understand why people just think it's, you want to play around in your 20s and just raise that body count, and that's supposed to benefit you when it really doesn't. And then now you think you're more wise and all that. Now you're either a single mother with the education, and now you want a man to come and marry you. No, he don't want you on that side of it. I'm just saying, I get it, but women really take offense to it, and I'm just like, don't take offense to it. Yeah, I'm catching a cold. I don't know why. Thank y'all. Successful MD says child, I can't read. Selfish people lack ability to have balance. Exactly. Because you want everything up front. You want to just have your cake, ice cream, cookies, and everything all at the same time. You don't get it. They don't get it. You know, they think raising a family and having a husband is just boring and just, not beneficial or none of that. And you can't do anything. Like I said, I have a degree too, which I'm like, I regret it because I don't use the damn thing. It's really not benefiting me. You know what I'm saying? I could have did without it. But once again, I was raised by a single mother where I was taught the same things a lot of the hyenas were taught. It's like, okay, well, you got to take care of yourself and you got to go out and make sure and do all this kind of stuff. And, it's not very beneficial. You know what I'm saying? And so, but there are things that I was able to do. I still was able to do it. And there are things that, I wanted to accomplish that I've accomplished older. And, I didn't miss out on anything, and so I just think it really just depends on what you want. A lot of these women just want to be outside. They just want to ride the CCs. They just want to be with a bunch of men. And then think that once they've done that, they can still go find a man who they'll settle down with and he gonna raise their kids and it's gonna be happily ever after. And then when that don't happen, they mad and bitter and talking about all men are just horrible. So right. Let's continue.
But you're gonna be about okay, so you want someone you can retire with and have fun with.
I got other things going on besides work. I got properties in Chicago and stuff like that. So
I know Regina will have a lot to say.
It's not me, it's my hairstylist.
It's hey, boo.
Hey, now here goes the pushback.
Let me tell you, what was the last guy named Michael?
The last guy name was Michael.
Yeah, Michael was given very Michael Myers vibe, very scary, very unstable. That's his type of. I mean, for him to say that you would rather have to have a small child so he can help raise, we couldn't get knee deep into the conversation. But what if it seems like he would have a problem if the child's father was involved and around? Like that could be a problem for Michael. And he said a couple of other things too. When he said he had 2 cars, both foreign, he led with a lot of, and there's nothing wrong with being masculine, but he led with a lot of masculinity to where, if he was to deal with a woman that's self-sufficient and has her own, it would not work. And
he said he doesn't want a woman. He doesn't want a boss chick. He wants a woman
He doesn't, because he wants a child.
Okay.
And because he wants a child, he wants a woman that's an adolescent. He wants a woman that he can per se raise himself to. And for him to have the bare minimum to say that all you need is a car. My daughter has a car. She's 17 years old. So, you know, that's the bare minimum for a woman. Now, don't get me wrong. I agree with you have to have the 4 Asians. That's transportation, education, communication, and I forgot the 4th one. But I agree that you...
Occupation, probably. Occupation?
Yeah, I agree that you have to have the 4 Asians or whatever, but he didn't seem a little, you know, weird to you. He gave me weird vibes.
Well, of course he gave you weird vibes. It would make sense for women who don't like masculine men. That man, he said he was a locomotive operator or whatever. They made good money. So he made good money. He knew what he wanted. He was married before. Why does the men so unstable was not giving unstable? This is see how backwards a lot of women. He was not unstable. He was very stable. He made good money. He told you what he had. He didn't have a mortgage. He paid for his stuff. How is he considered unstable? How is he giving you Michael Myers vibes? See, this is these women projecting their own ish onto these men. That man didn't seem unstable, but a lot of these women will find a guy that they're attracted to who don't have half of that and give him a chance and say, oh, you know, oh, the vibes are right. You know, that man did not give unstable whatsoever. This is why a lot of these women are very delusional. You don't know a good thing when you see it. And his preferences, there was nothing wrong. He wants children. Why would he want a woman who already has kids? Because the majority of these women over 35 already have a kid or 2 or 3 or 4. Why would he want that when he says he wants his own kids? And I said it before, a lot of these types of women do not understand a man saying, hey, the kid would have to be small because he wants to raise the child. He wants to build with that child. Men don't want to have to deal with an already grown child, a big child who already knows, oh, this is not my father, and use that. That's a tug of war. That's something he gonna have to deal with. They don't get it. This is why I say a lot of these women are picking men based off of their feelings and their emotions. They don't really know how men should think, what they should be looking for in a relationship. And a lot of these women will stay single because they're out here giving their body to somebody, but these men won't marry them, won't take them seriously, and they're just playing games with them, and that's who they dealing with. But this man here will more than likely is looking for a wife because he had one. But these women aren't prepared for a man who's serious. For her to say he's unstable was just nasty work, in my opinion. Nasty work for you to say this, he's unstable. Child, this is why I say they're delusional. They really are. And it ain't funny. It's just crazy. It's cringy. Successful MD says she came with selective listening and gaslighting for sure. The same thing they blame men for doing. You know, every man is gaslighting. Every man is a narcissist. They don't use narcissists as much now, but I mean, every man is gaslighting. Every man is, you know, and because that's what they do. Thank you, Successful MD. Child, it's crazy. They come with attitude, and you only hear certain things. Now he's unstable. Child, stop. Let's continue though.
Listen. You know, it's interesting. Right? You know, I like to listen. I learned so much hosting this show. But he was adamant that he didn't want anybody to have children. That's why he was going 20 years younger. Nay, I know you getting your hair done, but I know you had an opinion too.
Okay, so he said, you hear me?
I can hear you. Okay, real quick.
Okay, he said
together on the All Black Network. She's getting her hair done. So we're going to respect the fact that that's her hairstylist. So she's not going to be on camera, but I know you had a lot to say because I saw you in the comments.
Okay. I feel like, okay, his age range, which was 20 to 30. Which is
basically you.
Right. I'm 23. So as me answering him, you know, just like, not even just because he's acting like he like making it mud, like, you know, so what I'm saying is if he want to date someone in this generation, it's a lot of 23, 22, 25. It's a lot of people right now that's making more money than any 30, 40, 50, and they working hard and they're boss material. I see it all the time. They making their money, they getting their money. So I feel like for him to look for a female in their 20s, not even 31, 32, 33. It stops at 30. So it's like we're not even in our prime yet. Like we're getting there. So of course we're going to have that boss mentality. Of course we're going to work until like he sounds very crazy. I don't think that any female is going to go for that. I feel like any female that I feel like he wants somebody that's not as driven. And
I like how she asked them to describe what woman they want. Like, what do you see your woman being? Because usually they come on here and they project a certain image, but when you ask them to describe, they always describe like someone that's just someone they can control, and it just comes off different as to what they were saying. Oh, I want a woman, she has to be, strong, encouraging. And then when they describe the woman they want, they always describe a slave. And it's just like, no, or someone that is like,
yeah, and I think women got to stop using that term. Men aren't out here saying they want slaves. Y'all got to stop doing that. They got to stop doing that, because women actually, a lot of these older bras really want a man that they can control. If you really want to be honest, you got to stop projecting your own stuff onto somebody else. Just because somebody has a preference and they're saying what they want, it shouldn't trigger you. If you know what you want and that's not it, why are you triggered? See, this is why people are only triggered when it's something that either applies to them or they know that they don't want, they don't measure up, that man wouldn't even be looking for you, that the men that you want don't really want you. I think, because listen, somebody could tell me, oh, I don't like women who I don't know, who have moles. Okay. I know I have moles. I could, even if I was single, I could be like, oh, I have moles. I wouldn't get triggered. Why? If a man doesn't like a woman with moles, okay, what you want? What I'm gonna go do? Cut off my moles and be like, oh, I'm gonna be what you want? No, if you don't like a woman with moles, why would that upset me? It's just because I have moles. That's your preference. Just like I have a preference. You shouldn't. If it doesn't apply to you in any way, why do people get upset? Instead of just saying, you know what, that's his preference. Okay, cool. I may not agree with it, but whatever. Keep it moving. To me, people get upset because they don't measure up to that person's preference. And if majority of men start exuding their preference or talking about their preference and what they want, and you don't measure up, more women will get pissed. And that's what we're seeing. A lot of women are triggered because you don't measure up. When men say, I don't want women who have kids, I don't want to date single mothers, that's a trigger for a lot of these women because the majority of them have kids. So of course you're going to be triggered and mad because that eliminates you. I don't care how big your BBL is, how great you think you look. If the man is saying no, children are deal breakers. And if more and more men start saying, oh, children are deal breakers, we don't want women with children, they're going to get triggered and upset and big mad because you like, well, damn, my kids are the only thing that's holding me back. Probably not the only thing, but it's certainly one thing that men are saying they don't want. So yes, you are triggered because that eliminates you, instead of saying, you know what? Well, this is a consequence of me going out here having kids and not having a stable relationship or a marriage. So I can't be mad. You don't try to start faulting these men or blaming these men or belittling them, calling them sassy because they don't want to accept the woman with kids and they want their own kids. So that's how it goes. This is how you know when somebody is triggered, because they know that this eliminates them out of the dating scene. And if all these men are serious about this, and when you date them and you say you got kids, you're like, okay, nah. Then they don't like that because they know, it's going to affect them. It's going to affect them in getting what they want. You could see a nice, fine dude that you really like, right? And he's 6 feet tall. He has everything that you desire, but his deal breaker is kids, and you got kids, child. You could like him all you want. He ain't gonna want you. And this is, and you would be surprised how many women out there who are actually lying about their kids, who are actually not, being truthful about how many kids they have. I mean, there's stories of women actually lying with 5 kids, saying that they only had one or they didn't have any, because they know that that's a deal breaker for the man that they actually are trying to pursue. So it's crazy out here, y'all. It's a hot mess. The Geek Surgeon says the Queen Mother Shahrazad Ali say most women get stuck at 14. Child, what they call that arrested development, where that they stay there. Thank you once again for the super chat, the Geek Surgeon. I appreciate you. It's crazy. Yep, those women be lying about how many children they have. I done seen. Yeah, they do. They do, Devon. They really do. And it's crazy. Because that's going to be a deal breaker. Let's continue.
Young and impressionable, and you can per se raise. And it's just like, if you want to raise somebody that bad, then get a dog. You want somebody to follow your every command, adopt a puppy. Because women these days, we running shit. And it's just, men have a hard time, coming into a house with a woman that makes money. Some men feel the need that they have to fight for, masculinity of the house. And that's not true, because when it comes to when you're done dating and you step into the married realm, it's a business, period. And you need my income and your income so we can come together and make sense, perfect sense. Not just, because I through my experience, when you deal with a man that lead with money and how much he make, he's trying to control you. Men that lead with money and shit, that's control.
Well, I mean, if that's the case, then a lot of women are out here leading with their money and their education. So wouldn't you say that they're trying to control men as well? There are a lot of women, that's all they lead with, because that's all that they have. So they think that by them making money with all these degrees, that they're in control of the situation. They want to control the situation as well. This is why they, you got to have you hear women who say they need to have a man who make what they make or more in order to respect him. So you can't respect a man making less, because that you feel that you're going to have the upper hand on him, and you're going to control him. You're going to, emasculate him. You're going to put him down. You're going to make him feel less than because you make more money. So women do the same shit that they complain about men. And I don't think men who make, and a lot of times from what this man was saying, he is the one who paid the bills in his marriage. It doesn't sound like he wants somebody to control. He said his wife made money and she did what she wanted with the money. How is that control? He wants a family. He happened to lose his wife, so they didn't get around to that. How is that control? When a lot of these women, look, they running shit. So no, men don't want the women who running shit. It's not that they're intimidated by it. That's just not their preference. And I think women have a hard time wrapping their head around a man's preference, because they're the leaders and they think that they are the ones that should be running shit and they should make the call and a man's supposed to follow them. So no, it's men. That's just a preference of a man. They don't want a boss chick, and these boss chicks got to accept that. Don't try to bash them or belittle them and tell them, "Oh, you just want a little child you can control and be your slave." That's not what's happening. That is not what's happening. But that's what they want to think. But that's why they still be by themselves. Let's continue.
And they get young girls, 20. They get them because they come out of the daddy phase and they still want to be taken care of and managed. But when you are a grown woman and your eyes are open.
Well, these so-called grown-ass women who are boss chicks still want a man to take care of them. They still complaining, wanting a man to take care of them. It ain't just the fact that a woman is younger. These old-ass bras still want a man to take care of them. They still want to be a boss chick, and you still want a man to pay for everything. What's the difference? Like, this is crazy. All these old bras still talking about, I need a man who let me go shopping. I need a man to take care of me and let me spend money. What the hell? It don't matter if you're 20 or 60. They still want a man to take care of them. Come on now.
Honey, I promise you, you're going to want a man. You're going to want one.
What he said? He didn't want to date nobody over 30 because they have kids, they have baggage, they're smart.
They do.
Oh, he said bullet holes. You have bullet holes, sir. And you look and honestly, no, I'm dead serious, because he was clearly reporting live from a mobile home. You saying you own properties and doing all
Oh my God.
You clearly was reporting live from he was reporting live from Bumfuck, Mississippi. They coaches.
Oh my gosh.
No, seriously. And you coming on here with all these women
she
all across the
triggered.
world. It's not my fault you haven't left Mississippi and you don't know what else is out here. You're not going to buy a woman a Subway sub and be like, "Oh, I'm the man in the house."
She's
young and whatever else the 5-star restaurants
This
is
is
serving.
what they do.
Quite frankly,
He said he got 2 porns. I think he gonna give me that.
year, make, model. Year, make, model. He actually could have showed us the keys, and we would have.
Oh my God.
Once he would have showed the keys, I would have known from there.
Oh God. Well, listen, I appreciate y'all checking in. Get your hair you have any comments to what Michael was saying?
Yeah, Successful MD says, let me see a woman's debt to income ratio. Child, you don't want to see that. Successful, oh, you don't want to see that, Successful MD, because guess what? They're gonna be very, very shocking. Her debt to income ratio is gonna be through the roof. Like you gonna see more. Child, is always more debt than what you making all the time. We already know women spend billions and billions of dollars on crap. So you're going to see it. And this is why they want y'all to come in and clean that up. Come in and pay and take on that lifestyle that they have. Oh, all credit, I mean, just through the roof. That's why they want y'all to come in and continue it, because they running out of coin. They running out of credit. They running out of, money to pay for this. They running out of, they go in debt. And they're running out of options to pay for this lifestyle. So they need you ASAP to come in and just pick up the pieces, child. So yeah, that's going to be through the roof. That's going to be a hot mess. But they want y'all to come in and fix it. You got to come be Captain Saver 304, child. Because they tired of paying for it. They tired, but they want to keep going. But they want y'all to come in and pay for it. Yeah, they want you to keep up the facade. Curiasha, I hope I'm saying it right, 2099 says, yeah, quite a few times I met women online and they would omit that they had kids, child. Many of them are just not getting it how serious this is to some men. I don't use online anymore, by the way. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. Yeah, they don't realize how serious it is. But they realize that it's a standard for a lot of men. It's a requirement that, they date a woman who doesn't have kids. So that's why they'll lie about it. Thank you once again for the super chat. I appreciate you. But it's very serious, and they realizing it now. Because at first they're like, well, why my kids got to do with anything? Your kids have everything to do with your relationship. Like, it is what it is though, y'all. Let's continue, because a couple of guys had something to say and I want to hear from them. Here we go.
I mean, he didn't know how to articulate himself.
Right.
If you want me to be honest.
Well,
okay, what did you think he was trying to say?
What he was trying to say is, men as men, we the protectors and providers. So when a woman comes off as if she don't need a man, it's usually her speaking financially. If I'm wrong, shoot me down. But I'm thinking that's what she's talking about when she says she don't need a man. So it comes off a little turn offish when it comes to us, because we're not even thinking about your money, honey. Like, so a lot of that, yeah, like a lot of men feel like if you put in a position to be a man, so your woman is automatically, if she makes less than you, you're going to do whatever you can to provide because you love her and you like her and all of that. But giving that shoe to a woman, and we already heard how they feel. They not messing with a dude who make less than them. They not lessening their lifestyle to support him too. So, I mean, I understand what he's saying. We coming in and you know what we represent already. So why talk about money or that you don't need a man in the sense of a financial is what I'm saying, is what I'm thinking.
I think that's true though.
He's absolutely right. Men come into the relationship looking at the total picture. He's not looking at his woman to provide everything. He's looking for a helpmate. He's looking for somebody who he can work with, and y'all coming in, to build the relationship. Men aren't thinking about coming in thinking of your money. They're thinking about, hey, as a man, I'm supposed to be the protector and the provider, and that's what I'm going to do. I've been providing and protecting myself, so now I want a family. I want a wife. I want children. I want to be able to be that for a family. He's looking at the bigger picture. Women, on the other hand, come in leading with their money. Oh, I'm a boss. I'm running shit. They automatically come in with this mindset of, look at me. Look what I got. I'm taking care of myself, nigga. You better measure up. They come in with this attitude. To me, when women make money and they make a decent amount of money, they can be the most difficult people to deal with. Just saying. Because your attitude goes through the roof. You think that you're everything since sliced bread. You think, my money, that's all you think about. So that is definitely going to be a turnoff to anybody. Your attitude it's just horrible, because you really think because you made some money that you're just the bee's knees. You're everything, and you don't want to listen to anybody. You don't want to. You just think, oh, you do what I say. You know, they do the very same things that they blame or claim men do. When they get money, oh my God, their attitudes go through the roof. You become controlling and everything. You don't want to hear anything. But this is what they say men do. But there's history. There's enough history to show that men have been these women won't downsize. Oh, I will not date down. Men have been dating down forever. You get when it comes to finances, when they claim, oh, men was making all the money and women couldn't do it, men were dating women who didn't have access to that type of money, who didn't make what they were making. So they dated down all the time because they weren't looking at you as a financial, looking at you as far as finances. They're looking at you for other qualities. They're not looking at you as the breadwinner because they're the breadwinner. They want to be able to provide for a family, and they want a nurturing woman who's going to rear their children and build their families. So now that women can make money, that's all they lead with. That's all they talk about. The man has always been required to be the protector and the provider. The women are supposed to be the nurturers and bring in, raise, bear the kids and nurture the family and help raise the family and take care of the household and be supportive to the man and all of these things and teach the kids. While the man is always supposed to be the provider and the protector. I don't understand. But now these women are the providers and the protectors themselves. They don't need a man. So now they're the man and the woman. They coming in, the man and the woman leading, doing all that. And then they're tired of doing that. See, a man knows that that's his job to the end. Women only want to do it for a certain amount of time till they get tired. Then when they get tired, now they want you to come in and lead. When they've been leading the whole time, you got a leader mentality, but it's all jacked up because you're mad that you had to lead. So now you got an attitude, and now you're putting pressure on him to lead, but now you got an attitude. You don't respect them. You got problems with it. This is that boss chick mentality. So this is why they fail in relationships, because they don't come into it with the right attitude, the right mindset. They make money and they lose their damn minds. That's just what it is. So, and men are like, nah, I don't want to have to deal with that because it's too much. It's not just that you make money and you say, hey, we put our money together and we're going to do this. And when you cooperative and you don't have an attitude. No, you lose your mind when you make some money and you become this different person. And these men, that's why these men don't want to deal with you. So it's a difference when men are the breadwinners versus a woman being a breadwinner. When a woman becomes a breadwinner, she becomes a tyrant. She becomes, she's on 10. She's on 100. She becomes very, very, controlling and because she feels she's entitled to, because she makes more money than you. So you can't tell her nothing. She's non-cooperative, and she wants to do things the way she want to do it. So where would a man even fit in that? He won't even have a place with a woman like that. So that's why. Duke, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you so much, sir. Thank you. Kuro Yasha. They act like that even when the man makes more money than them. A lot of American Black women decisions are hyper ego driven, clout, status, and flexing. That's true. That is true. Thank you for the super chat once again. Successful MD says, I was out working, stopped at a service station for gas. I opened the door for a woman with one on the hip and dragging another. She gave me a nasty look as if I was going to ask for her number. Nope. And I never understand that, Successful MD. I never understand that. The Olden disciple says, hey, DeeDee, nice seeing you again. You look great. Salute to you and the hubby, my friend. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Olden, the disciple. This is that feminist thing, and knowing she probably ain't got no man. But why would you have an attitude like that? It's like they stuck on stupid. God forgive me. You got an attitude knowing you need help, and somebody helps you and you give them the stank eye. Like, why are you helping me? That's why nobody don't want to help them. Then complaining when nobody run to their aid. Like, what do y'all want? Do you want help or do you don't want it? You're stuck on this attitude for what, and it's not benefiting you. It's like the thing. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me, but hopefully they'll get it one day. I don't know. Let's continue.
I do think when most women say they don't need a man, they are talking about finances because
Right.
they're in a position to financially take care of themselves. And you're saying that as a man, you want to still like you're not thinking about the finances because you're gonna you're gonna be the leader regardless of what she's.
Exactly. We wanna come take care of you. Like that's a man's job. That's how I feel personally. But to take care of your woman. So it's a little turn offish when a woman just we not understanding. No, I understand what they're going through. Black women. Don't get me wrong. I understand. So I understand. The reasons why they might say it, but I think it's context to it too. Because if he talking about some women just in the club or something doing their thing, like you ain't, you know what I mean? Versus her speaking directly to you saying, I don't need a man for nothing. That's different. So I think he may be coming off from what he's seeing in public or on social media. I don't necessarily think he probably had that conversation with a woman where she just told him that. You get what I'm saying? So I don't know.
Fair enough. Well, I appreciate your assessment. I wanted to get a guy. We had a woman and a guy that both commented on what he said. So thank you so much.
Right.
All right.
Child, it is what it is. I thought that was interesting, but it just shows you the difference between how a lot of women think and how men think, and why there's such a disconnect when it comes to men and women and relationships. Because women move with their emotions and their feelings, and they feel a certain way, whether it's legit or not, and that's just how it is. That lady basically belittled that man, and that's to be expected. When people don't like what you're saying, they want to bash you and belittle you. As opposed to saying, you know what, that's his preference. That has nothing to do with me. Because remember, he wasn't talking directly to her. And for her to address him directly and bash him over his preferences, it just shows you how a lot of women think. They can't handle when somebody have a difference of opinion or a different preference, or when they are not included in that preference. See, as long as if men are saying, oh, I like BBWs, or I like women with kids, or I think just women are just all 10s. Oh, they don't have no pushback against that, because that's the delusional state of what you thrive in. You think that is real. So as long as you agree with it, it's okay. But when you don't agree with somebody's preference, oh, he got to be sassy, he got to be this, he got to be delusional, he got to be lying, he can't be telling the truth about what he has. And so I think that's a problem. And I think it's unfortunate that people just look over that and just don't call these women out on their BS. Because but at the end of the day, you ain't gotta really call them out. Their experiences are going to teach them. Their experiences are going to show them otherwise, and that's what's happening. A lot of men are not dealing with the women, and they're mad about it. They're not approaching them. That lady said these men won't even look their way, child. They decided, like, you know what, I ain't gonna even give these hyenas no eye contact, because I don't even want them approaching me. And it is what it is. And a lot of women are going to miss out on good men with that type of attitude. So it's a lot that, women got to learn. You gotta get it together. I don't think that women are exempt from doing better and doing something differently. I think for men who like to say, oh, women ain't got to do nothing, I think that's the delusional take on it. I think that kind of perpetuates the mindset and continuously make them think that they don't have to do anything, that they're perfect. And men are just the ones that gotta always be striving to do better, and always got to be leveling up, and always got to keep working on themselves, while women can sit back and not work on themselves at all. That is not conducive to healthy, stable relationships. Both of y'all need to be working on yourself. If you want to work with somebody, y'all both need to be able to understand each other. In order to do that, you have to learn what it means to work with a man, what a relationship should look like, what men want, just like you want men to know what you want. What's the nature of a woman? What's the nature of a man? How y'all gonna work together? Are y'all compatible? What does working together look like? What you should be doing as a woman and what he should be doing as a man, and how y'all gonna bring that together and establish a relationship together. That's just what it is. And there's no way around it. This is why relationships are horrible. People who get in relationships, they break up because usually the women leave because they call it toxic, because the relationship does not serve them. So if you don't have a man who's serving you 24/7, you think that he's no good and you need to bounce, but you never think about your part in the relationship and how y'all should serve each other. Because that's what a relationship is at the end of the day. It's about two people working together, not a man just catering to you 24/7 and meeting all of your needs while you do the bare minimum for him. That's a disaster waiting to happen. So that is it, you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this one up. I appreciate you guys for being here. Successful MD, thank you for the super chat once again. Says, even if the woman is making more than the man, as the man, he's not going to want his wife spending frivolously, and that too. Thank you for that, my 2 cents. That's another thing too. The man can make more, but once again, a woman who's in it and she's in it to be with you and she's in it for you, she's not going to want to do that. She's going to be reasonable in her spending. Thank you for the super chat, my 2 cents. She's not going to want to drain your pockets. A woman who cares about you is going to understand that you can't just spend because you know that if your husband is out here working hard for the family, you don't want to just spend his money willy-nilly because you know he's working hard and you know that he's working hard for the entire family. So women who care about the relationship and care about you, they're not going to want to just spend your money on they're not going to want to do it. Bottom line. If you meet a woman and all she cares about is just spending your money, just spending it all and don't care, that's a red flag. That's a red flag for you to realize that this is going to be a problem and this is not something that you want to have to deal with. So keep it moving. Because in my opinion, like I said, a woman who's in it to be with you and cares about you, she's going to be caring about your finances. She's going to be in tune with what y'all going to have a plan. Y'all going to have an overall consensus of what you want to spend your money on and how you should spend it and how you're going to grow it, how it's going to benefit y'all, the family, and not just you. A gold digger is only going to care about herself, how much you can spend on her, how you can just spend. She don't care about the future. She don't care about nothing else, but just making sure she get what she wants. That's how you know that person is really not about you. They only about what you can spend on them. And the minute you can't do it, she's ghosted. She's leaving because it doesn't serve her. And her only purpose is to drain your pockets. As long as if she can keep getting, she's going to keep getting. With the minute she can't get, she's out the door. So that's how you know the difference between a gold digger and a woman. A woman who is trying to get to know you is not going to care if you take her to Applebee's. I'm sorry. And I said it and I'll say it 1,000 times. A woman who is trying to get to know you is not going to care if you take her to Applebee's. She's not going to care if you take her to a chain restaurant like these women complaining about. She's not going to care about that because she knows it's not about where you go. The fact that this man is even taking you somewhere and paying for it, she would be appreciative of that. And it doesn't mean that she accepts the bare minimum. That means she's smart. That means she has sense in order to know, I'm trying to get to know this man. Let me see what he's about. Even if he makes a lot of money, she's not looking for your money. She's not looking for how much you can spend on her, knowing that you don't even know her, knowing that y'all are trying to get to know each other. So we could go sit out at the park and have a conversation because it's about you getting to know each other. And this is why I say a lot of these women are delusional. Y'all looking to y'all expecting these men to give y'all something for nothing. You have not put into a relationship with this man. He doesn't owe you a goddamn thing. You haven't put in, you just getting to know him. So why wouldn't a park, a date, or coffee, or ice cream, that should be sufficient? Because he doesn't owe you a goddamn thing, just like you don't owe him nothing. But what happens is, because these women are unrealistic and they're superficial, and you want these men to spend all this money on you, you run into the wrong type of guys who might have money, but he's saying, okay, yeah, I'll take you to that restaurant, but what I'm getting afterwards, you gonna give me some of that because I know what you out here for. And you end up giving your body to somebody, and that's all it becomes then, a transactional situation, because he's playing game like you. Now, once he realizes you run a game, he gonna run game back with you. And if this is what you want, that's what you get. And that's why a lot of them get transactions, because that's your intention. Any woman who's not about that, she's gonna come with her priorities in place. She's gonna come saying what she's looking for, and she's not gonna be out here playing these gold digger games. So that's the difference. My 2 cents says, yes, she can have nice things, but as the leader of the household, we don't want our women developing bad spending habits, because ebbs and flows. If things go south, it will be difficult getting her to cut back. Balance. No lies detected. Thank you once again, my 2 cents for no lies detected. None whatsoever. I completely agree with that. Because that's just facts. I don't care how you try to slice it. That's just what it is. That's just what it is. There's no lies detected in that. I mean, that's just what it is. And then your priorities should be on point and should be focused on what's necessary, not just everything that you want. Being married for a long time and being with my husband, listen, like I said in the beginning of our marriage, I was never superficial and he wasn't either. But there were certain things that he liked, but he was never superficial. Neither one of us. So my husband provided what was needed for the family. And I was fine with it because I was not looking for all the superficial stuff. I was more focused on the kids, making sure the kids had what they need, and they were being provided for. And that was my focus. And my husband's focus was making sure that we were good, taking care of his family while I'm making sure that the kids were good. And that was the focus. And we raised our children, thank God, to this point where the majority of them are grown. And, to me, yeah, I still worry about them, but the hardest part is over. We've just about fulfilled that part of our lives where our majority of our children are grown. They're out working and they're doing things for themselves, looking to establish their lives. So this is why I say you have to have your priorities in order, and you have to know what your focus is on. And focus on that. And so if your focus is on family, then let it be on that. Once you've completed that, and you can move on and do some other stuff. And then that's just how I see it, y'all. And, I try to give my little 2 cents to maybe help somebody who may not know, that there's a different way, that you don't have to go this route of what society is telling you, and that, you got to get to the bag and get these men to belittle them and making them do all that's some bunch of bullshit. And that is not helping anybody. And so for the women who want to listen, they will. For the ones who don't, they're going to keep doing what they're doing, and you're going to keep getting the outcomes that you're getting. That's just that. So that is it, you guys. Thank y'all so much for being here once again. I appreciate everybody who supports the channel via Super Chat, Cash App, everybody who likes and shares the streams and the videos. I appreciate you guys so much for that. Everybody in the chat, everybody commenting, everybody sharing, everybody watching. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you once again for supporting the channel. Make sure if you're in the building and you like the content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It is free to subscribe, share, like the videos, watch the videos that are on the channel, you guys, and leave a comment and like them as well. That definitely helps the channel out. So I'm out of here, you guys. Y'all be safe. Y'all take care. Until next time. Thank you once again. I love you guys. Y'all be safe out here in the streets, and I'll catch you later. Mwah. Bye.